Oklahoma's legal landscape is changing again, and this time it's the Osage Nation making waves. All right, so let's break this down. We all remember the McGirt versus Oklahoma case back in 2020, right? That was the game-changing Supreme Court decision that said the Muscogee Creek Nation's reservation was never legally disestablished. In simple terms, their land is still considered Indian country, not Oklahoma. This ruling set off a domino effect, leaving everyone asking, what about the other tribes? Well, the Osage Nation is now on the spotlight. You see, in 2022, an Oklahoma district court ruled the Osage Nation's reservation no longer exists, meaning that according to this ruling, the Osage Nation's lands were not protected under the McGirt decision. This was a huge blow to the tribe's sovereignty. But the Osage Nation isn't just accepting this. Far from it. They filed a motion to overturn this decision. They're arguing that under the McGirt ruling, their land should also be considered Indian country. In other words, the Osage Nation is asking the court to recognize their reservation just like the Muscogee Creek and other tribes. Now, why does this matter? Well, if the Osage Nation wins, it could totally reshape how jurisdiction works in Oklahoma. Here's the big deal. If their lands are recognized as Indian country, that would mean certain legal matters, especially criminal cases, would fall under tribal or federal jurisdiction, not state jurisdiction. Essentially, this gives the tribes more power to govern themselves and handle their own affairs, including law enforcement and legal matters. On the other hand, for Oklahoma, this can mean major shifts in how things are done. Tribal law enforcement could have more control, and the tribe's ability to govern itself without state interference could be strengthened. It's about sovereignty, the Osage Nation's right to decide what happens on their land without the state stepping in. But of course, this is a big legal fight. The case is still playing out, and there are lots of layers to it. If the court sides with the Osage Nation, it could set a huge precedent for other tribes in Oklahoma and beyond. We're talking about tribal sovereignty nations being reinforced and the balance of power between state and tribal governments shifting in a pretty significant way.